Okay. Hi, hello, who are we? De joke lang. Binasa eh. Hi, welcome to Sub-Auteurs. I'm Anjo.
I'm MJ.
I'm Misha.
And today we are going to be talking about a movie that just came out. It's something about someone. Someone nga ba?
Somebody?
Or nobody.
Dun, dun, dun.
That sounds ominous.
Wait, seamless nun ah. That was so seamless.
Nobody but you.
So
That should have been the theme song for this movie.
Nobody but you. I know the dance to the song. I'm gonna keep singing this song. Never mind. No, it's not. It's not
sorry.
a
I'm not
K-pop
gonna stop
reference.
anybody.
It's not a
To
K-pop
our
reference.
listeners, we apologize, but you know.
Hey,
it's fine.
I know you know the dance steps.
I know how to
I
watch the
do.
dance step.
No, seriously though, we're talking about a much, much, much darker kind of nobody. It's a 2021 film starring Bob Odenkirk, who we all know and love from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
Call Saul.
So yeah, it's an action film directed by Ilya Naishuller. Am I saying that right? Ilya Naishuller? That's the
I'll
director's
just
name.
say yes. I'll err on the side of caution.
I'll just say Ilya from Moscow because he's Russian.
That makes
Because
so
I couldn't
much
pronounce
sense.
the last name, so it's like
So, yes, it's got everything we love. Badass fight scenes, Bob Odenkirk, Russians, and legit scary-ass Russian mobsters who are surprisingly incredible at karaoke too. We'll get to that later. But, yes, legit Russian mobsters.
Suck it, I care a lot.
Yeah.
That's how you do scary Russian mob.
Yeah, this is how you do that shit.
Yeah. So this movie is basically about a tired middle-aged man who is sick of his daily grind. And, he through a series of events, of unfortunate or fortunate events, whichever way you look at it, decides to unload all his pent-up frustrations and rage. And then, the fun begins.
Yes! Fun! So much fun! Yeah. He plays Hutchman Cell. And, same old shit kind of stuff. Cue 9 Inch Nails. Everybody, every day is exactly the same theme song. Well, it doesn't play in the movie, but that's how I imagine it would in that perfect movie scene. But yeah, we all know that there's some ruthlessness underneath that good dad exterior, regular suburban dad, beautiful wife, 2 kids, dead end job. But maybe it's something dark in his past until, like Anjo said, events unfold which test his limits and the shit escalates from there.
I like
Kitty
it.
cat bracelet. What?
I like it.
Yeah. Okay, so first
That
impressions.
was great.
First impressions.
After
That movie was
seeing
so much fun. I've seen it twice already. That movie was so much fun.
Thrice.
I saw it 1.5 times. I think that
I'm
counts.
likely to watch it again.
Yeah, so
I'll probably
fun.
watch it again after we record,
Probably, yeah. After we talked so much about it, I'm probably gonna wanna watch it for the 4th time. And like when Anjo, I saw it first, and then Anjo saw it later, and I kid you not, our chat was in all caps. It's like we were screaming at each other. Like if we saw this together in person, we would be straight up yelling at each other with how fucking awesome that movie was.
Yep. It
really was.
This movie takes a page from John Wick. I mean, I guess literally because as Misha told me last night, was it last night? When he told me last night that the writer was the same script writer for John Wick.
Yeah. The same guy who wrote John Wick 1, 2, or 3 did a find replace and came up with this screenplay.
Find replace. But actually, controversial opinion, and Anjo shares the same opinion. I liked it better than John Wick. I'm sorry. Gasps. Audible gasps.
I think this one had a little bit more under the hood than John Wick did. I agree. With regards to the theme and the story and the character development. Because John Wick, let's face it, that guy's a cartoon character. He's just a superhero in a suit, in a bulletproof suit.
With a doggy.
Yeah, with a doggy. Well, he had a doggy. But,
Oh.
Okay, fine. He got another one. But, like, the thing about this one is, this thing, Nobody, the movie, has more in common with stuff like Because like if you look at the trailer, you're thinking maybe it's something like The Long Kiss Goodnight or like John Wick, where this normal, ordinary guy is a hidden badass and you never knew it. And that's true. But this has more in common with stuff like Fight Club or Falling Down, where somebody is just pushed to their limit by the dreariness of their everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
And the only outlet for them is literally kicking ass.
So happy about that. Okay.
The only difference about him is that he's good, not like a Tyler Durden. No, not Tyler Durden, but not like the narrator who's just, a working class guy.
And I think it has an element of relatability to it. You may not be middle-aged, you may not have a family or two beautiful kids, but you would know the dreariness of every single day being exactly the same, so boring, you not feeling fulfilled in any sort of way. So this does get you anxious or maybe angry, all this pent-up energy inside you. And when it explodes, so worth it.
Definitely. Because like, especially now with the pandemic, now entering its second season at this point.
Oh God.
The word of the year now is just languishing. We are all fucking languishing. Yeah. And that's where we find nobody at the beginning of the movie. He's just stuck in his suburban everyday life. He knows exactly how every day is going to go.
He does have a name. His name is Hutch.
Well, yeah, I think that's another reason he gets bullied. Like his brother-in-law thinks he's crap. His son thinks he's crap. His wife just tolerates him. So who wouldn't be pissed off?
The wife it's pretty sad. That's set up where, they sleep with a barrier in between, a pillow in between them, and his wife sleeps with her back turned away from him.
Mm-hmm. And the wife, by the way, is played by Connie Nielsen, who is Wonder Woman's mom.
Yes, Hippolyta. Woo-hoo. So beautiful.
Who takes his coffee on Tuesdays all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's a dick move. You do not take someone's coffee.
So the movie basically, after setting it up where we see that he is just an everyday loser who's, just treading water and not really doing anything with his life, things take a turn when they suffer a home invasion. They get these two masked criminals enter the house, and Hutch is seemingly powerless to stop them, which just, does not help his standing with his kid.
Yeah, his son gets very disappointed at Hutch when, by this point in the movie, after like that really cool intro teaser where he's like, it's like a fast forward and he's all beat up and wounded, and he's like, the cops are like, who the fuck are you? He's like, me, I'm cut
Invincible. Oh wait, no, sorry, wrong show.
Nip. Okay, then cut to his dreary everyday life. You kind of already, also seeing the trailer, you kind of already get this idea that he is a badass somehow. And then you're just waiting for him to attack these two masked thugs or thieves, but he just doesn't do it. He's like, let him go, son. And then they just let the two thieves get away, which really disappoints his son and even all the men around him. Not just his son, the cops, his neighbor, his brother-in-law, his father-in-law, kind of. Not really, but they
look down on him or at some point, like he's supposed to be the man of the house, supposed to be the guy protecting them. And yet he let his son get punched in the face, right? And he just didn't he had the perfect opportunity to beat them up with a golf club, but he just said, let them go. Mm-hmm.
And I love how that really speaks volumes about his character, who's been holding in all this ability and rage. Just to that was your chance to like go ape shit on people breaking in your home. But then he was like, no, okay. It's like this respectable level of self-control. And and Bob Odenkirk's acting just like portrays it so perfectly. You can see how torn he is. Like, I want to beat the shit out of these guys, but I won't.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that, the big thing that helps with this is because we've known him from Breaking Bad over the years, because we've known him from Breaking Saul. God damn it! Better Call Saul.
Breaking Call Saul.
Oh my God!
I feel
your fucking show will never die. Breaking Call Saul.
That's
good. I am not the only one who makes that mistake. Thank you.
That's because you keep teasing her about Breaking Call Saul, Misha.
So because
might as well just say Breaking Call Saul.
Because we've known this guy for years, Bob Odenkirk, as this sad sack of a man, it feeds into his image as basically a loser right? And that the best that he's ever going to do in his life is he's going to be a huckster, a used car salesman, or a sleazy lawyer. But
doesn't he work for the company of his father-in-law,
who is played by Michael Ironside, who is my favorite Darkseid?
Oh, from the DC cartoons.
Mm-hmm. But yes, he works for his father-in-law, his co-worker, his brother-in-law, and nobody respects him. He's just this loser. And I think that's what makes his transformation when he finally lets loose all the more incredible, because we've only ever seen him as, basically a loser in most of his roles. But now he's the one kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah. It's like every punch, every kick, every shot of a gun is so well earned. Mm-hmm. It's like every time he like punches somebody, you're like, yes, it's so gratifying.
Yep.
And I love how this is an action flick with Bob Odenkirk kicking ass, given. But I also love how they piled on how pathetic he was to all these other men at the start. Because after the early attempted robbery sequence, all the dude bros around him were like, oh, you should have taken a swing. Like, a real man would do this, blah, blah, blah. But like, fuck you guys. He could fuck you up in a second if he wanted to, but he didn't.
It's
and that takes a real man right there. A real man only fucks you up if he needs to. And thank God he needed to fuck people up in this movie because it was so damn good when he did.
And you can tell that it's been years and years and years of just suppression, of keeping it in, of bottling it inside himself. That's why when he gets triggered by his kid's kitty cat bracelet.
Oh, that was so cute.
And he's like, you know what? Fuck this. That's when he decides that, he's going to go fuck some people up. And he does.
Give me the fucking kitty cat bracelet!
On the bright side,
cute words he delivered.
He has a conscience. I mean, if nothing else, he picks his victims, for lack of a better word. And I think that's where some of the quote unquote divisiveness of this movie has come from. Because like John Wick, everybody can get behind that. The you don't mess with a guy's dog. Everybody can get behind that. In this movie, other people have been saying that, it's a little harder to relate to him or to root for him because they're like, he chooses to go out looking for trouble. Mm-hmm. But you know what? For me, I enjoyed watching this nonsense.
I'm like, fuck it. That's Bob Odenkirk. I forgive anything he does.
Mm-hmm. Guy's an amazing actor. He's a great comedian. And now he's a badass action star in his 50s.
Oh, yeah.
I like the fact that you have a middle-aged man kicking ass. Like, it's not like it's Liam Neeson, because Liam Neeson is built like a tank. The guy is huge. But this time around, you have this seemingly meek middle-aged guy. The type of guy you wouldn't think can kill you so easily and so mercilessly. Like he did all those guys in that bus scene. Man, that scene was so gratifying.
Talk about the bus scene? Let's talk about the bus scene. That was
let's get to the meat of it.
The first good scene in that movie.
Yeah, they were all good. It was the first violent scene, I'll give you that.
Yes.
Violent scene, there you go. Violent scene.
So he's looking for his kid's kitty cat bracelet, right? And he's decided, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going home. Okay? Not worth it. I'm not going to fuck up some useless housebreakers.
Yeah, because they were basically, he knows how desperate they were. They were a struggling, I'm not even sure if they were married, but they were a struggling couple. And then he attacks them, gets his watch back, but then hears a baby crying. And that's when he retreats. Because like, oh, fuck, I can't do this.
And you could sense his frustration because he
was
really
a handicapped
ready
baby.
To kill. He was ready to fuck them up. So he takes out his frustration on a wall. He's like, you know what? I'm going home. Okay? Nothing's going to happen tonight. But then some conveniently drunk Russian mobsters show up.
Yay!
And he's like, this is the answer to my prayers.
Oh, that was fun. I like the fact that he let everybody off the bus. No, sorry. He ushered the bus driver off the bus just so he could lock it up and, lock himself inside with the bus with these Russian mobsters. Just so he can beat them up.
It's not like he didn't warn them,
He was like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, I guess that counts as a warning.
Well, I think taking the bullets out of his gun is warning enough.
That was awesome. And can
That
I
was
just
so
say,
cool.
like, it was that's where I got that sense of Fight Club, because it wasn't just about him wailing on those guys. It was also about him getting hit, that basically helped wake him up. He just wanted to feel
he
alive
wanted to feel something
after years of probably, being made to feel impotent.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not endorsing violent behavior, and
That
I'm
is
not saying that
that
people
does
should
make
go
sense.
out and pick a fight just to feel "quote unquote" alive. But in the context of a film, I can get behind this because it is freaking entertaining.
And it's Bob Odenkirk.
And it's fucking Saul Goodman kicking
love
ass.
it so much.
It's just really so much fun watching Bob Odenkirk kick ass. Like,
I love him so much. I can't express it.
Something cool about the director, let's call him Ilya by his first name, because I cannot attempt to do his last name.
And your bros, you're real cool.
He was the director of Hardcore Henry, as well as a couple of badass music videos that made extensive use of like first-person camera action.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm sorry. Can I say Hardcore Henry?
Yeah.
That sounds like a porn flick to me.
no, but you should watch it though. Like, watching that movie is an experience in itself. Imagine watching an entire action movie that is in first person point of view.
Can I just
like
say
a
I
video
didn't
game?
enjoy it that much. I was okay with it in bits and pieces, but it just felt too long. Because like when this director did that first person thing with his music videos, they were only like 2-3 minutes long. But
this one's like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was exhausting.
So it's
it was
playing a video game,
dizzying.
but not really.
Yes, to heavy metal Russian music.
It would help, I guess, if you were in a 4D cinema.
It's his band that's playing. It's his own band's music video.
Oh wow!
So you have to watch it. It's called I remember. It's called Bad Motherfucker, and there's another one called Insane Office Escape. If you guys Google these videos, they are amazing.
Yes, I've seen Insane Office Escape, but then I'm saying it's really more of an experience than it is something of cinematic. Than it being a cinematic masterpiece. It's just really like a 2-hour first-person action movie, first-person point of view action movie.
True.
Which is
kind of funny because like when they made that Doom movie, everyone complained how come there wasn't any first person. So somebody made a whole movie that was all first person, and they still complained. But something that I liked what Ilya did,
please everyone.
Something that he learned in doing things in first person was that he found a way to choreograph and to stage his action in a way that you are always aware of what's going on. You're aware of the geography of everything. And I think that translates excellently here in Nobody, where he's doing third-person action, but, same thing applies. You know where everything is. You know where the bad guys are. You know where the good guy is. You appreciate their environment. And, it's just awesome seeing how Hutch uses bits of that environment to dish out more pain.
Oh, yeah.
I think it makes sense for him.
So wrong. Sorry.
You and your violence.
I just think that makes sense. It makes sense to depict that or to do that for this action movie, just to show you how well trained Hutch is as a character. Because if not everybody would think to use the environment as a weapon. Like, he was clearly using everything in sight. Like, even like in that bus scene, he was using those broken handles or handlebars just to whack people. He would break them off. He would use chairs. He would, smash people's heads on chairs and whatever. It just adds to the character of Hutch. Or Nobody.
Oh my God, he kind of Kevin McAllister did.
That is also true. Towards the end of the movie, where he gets all the bad guys to follow him into a warehouse that he set up basically as a Home Alone house of horrors on steroids.
I love that. But okay, so since we're already talking about the cinematics of it, let's get to the technicals and what we loved about it. So I would already say editing caught my attention from the start. When the music comes in such great opportune times, you can also see how seamlessly they cut out the music, not just through a fade out scene per scene. You can also see or you can hear the music ending through like a radio being turned off or something like that. It's so seamless. The editing in this, it's amazing.
Yes. I think that was the first, one of the first few comments I had when I was messaging you last night, and then Misha was still watching it.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I said was like, I love the editing of this movie. Like, it's so perfect, it's so seamless, it's so fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it had to be agile where it had to be agile. It had to be very, parang tender. It had to be very creative. It got to a point where it was so creative, but creatively done, parang, and yet it didn't feel forced.
Yep.
The transitions were just spot on.
Yes.
It was perfect.
Like
Absolutely.
butter.
I still feel bad for the vinyl collection, though.
Yeah, I would. Speaking of other than the editing, that was nice. Narratively speaking, like in some that rule where things go full circle. Like, I remember that one scene where the brother hands him a gun to supposedly protect himself and his family, and he puts it in the freezer in the office. And then in the later scenes, in the climactic scenes, he actually goes back to that gun and uses it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, that's a story.
It would be
full circle.
awesome. It would be awesome if the Russian he shot with that gun was named Chekhov. That'd be fucking amazing.
Nice.
Well, we could check the credits if there's a Chekhov listed and just name him Chekhov.
Fucking Chekhov's gun. But yeah, that is a hell of a plot and payoff. I love that shit.
And check that off the list. Never mind.
I love that the everything was done, for the people who are saying that this is not somebody to be emulated, not somebody you should look up to, he's a bad person, blah, 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 blah. Guys, clearly, it's a gag, and if you're in on the joke, you're in on the joke. And that's what I enjoyed, because you could tell that the sense of the filmmakers had a sense of humor about everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was absurd. It could be silly. It could be fun, but it could also be ridiculously violent. And sometimes it would do them both at the same time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Like the karaoke mob boss.
Yeah. That made him even more awesome that way.
What
like,
the hell?
yeah, of course he has.
I saw the direction that I Care a Lot wanted to go with Tyrion Lannister.
Yep.
Him being a quirky mob boss. But this is what a quirky mob boss was. This guy who loved to sing in front of people.
And do coke
who his
in front of
contemporaries thought of as a floozy.
Mm-hmm.
And do coke in front of people. His contemporaries thought of him as a floozy, because he liked singing and performing and dancing on stage in front of everyone. And then, 5 seconds later, he just kills a guy with after breaking a freaking martini glass he was drinking from, mutilates the face and then slits a guy's throat just because the guy looked at him the wrong way.
Just cause.
That's how you do a fucking mob boss.
And I think
Just
also
'cause.
it helps, like, all the actors were in on the joke. I mean, they knew exactly what kind of movie they're making, so they know that they take it seriously to a point, but you can still see that they're clearly enjoying themselves, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, like, for heaven's sake, the production designer put a fucking poster of A Touch of Evil on Odenkirk's wall at the beginning. So I'm like, oh, you're trying to tell us something. I mean,
I did not know that.
they did. Like, when he goes down to the basement to lie down because his wife doesn't want anything to do with him after the robbery gone wrong, there's a poster on the wall for Orson Welles' Touch of Evil. I'm like, foreshadowing. And can I just say, it's fucking hilarious that the Russians have a pension plan. The Russian mafia has a pension plan.
Well, it makes sense. They would be 2 steps ahead of everything. So yeah, why the fuck not?
I'm kind of jealous, actually. But all of that is secondary because this movie exists much like Godzilla vs. Kong as an excuse to have ridiculous fight scenes. And for the most part, yeah, this fucking delivers.
Yeah, dude.
No, I mean, like, it does. Like, the fight scenes were so creatively done. They were also so gritty that you felt everything. You felt the impact. You felt all the stabbing that would happen. And you just, I was watching this as my baby slept. So I had to check every now and then. I was watching with my headphones on, so I would have to check to see if I woke him up because I was just reacting so much, like ooh, or I was just laughing out loud, like every time things would happen. Well, it was just that kind of movie.
Yeah, it would have been fun in the cinemas because everybody would at the same time like cringe or like be like, whoa,
yes,
oh yeah. Like, that was a good one.
Yeah. So it's like, oh my gosh, so graphic, but you love it. You love it.
I so wanted to watch this with you guys because I'm pretty sure
That
we'd
would've
all
been
have the
so
same
fun.
reactions and we would have been loud.
Oh, yeah, we would have been.
What was your favorite kill, since we're talking about violence?
Ah, shit.
Ooh. Who wants to go first? Because I may need to take a moment to think about the kills because there were a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not going to give the context, but I love this one bit where a sniper rifle at close range takes out 3 guys in a row with 1 bullet. That was hilarious.
That was pretty fucking cool.
They did not.
I like that. Mine is a toss-up between that scene where he straps or he tapes a claymore in front of this bulletproof glass and runs to a guy and just makes it explode. That was fun.
Kaboom.
That
I really don't think he should have survived that, but it was so cool to watch.
I know.
Right. That was fun. That and the kettle kill. Who would have thunk you would kill somebody using a kettle?
That poor bastard.
Oh, that was fucking brutal.
It's so hard to pick a favorite because they're all so good.
This movie is like the definition of a crowd pleaser. So that's like 2 in a row. Between this and Godzilla vs. Kong, I feel so bad that we can't watch these things in a group.
It's not even about which is your favorite kill. There's even which is your favorite trap. Like he makes trap. Like he does like Kevin McAllister levels of, or more brutal versions of what Kevin McAllister could have done.
Okay, I'm gonna say there weren't technically any kills in the bus scene, but I really enjoyed the bus scene.
Oh yeah,
that was so good.
It was, and I just love the gag of like he could have when he's done beating the shit out of everybody, but he decides to let this one guy survive. So basically, he punches the shit out of this guy, and his like lungs are collapsed or something. So what he does, he gets like a leftover drink with a straw and slits this guy's throat and puts the straw in there to kind of like give him a breathing passage. That was fucking hilarious.
No, but I love the fact that it was just him sitting down and these guys just enter the bus. It was like the whole thing was like his expression. You could have said was like, "Give me a reason. Just give me one reason. Give me one reason
think he
to
was
beat
decided,
you up."
Even if they didn't give him a reason, he was all like, "Thank you, God."
Thank you. These guys look like assholes. Reason enough.
And can I just mention, like, with regards to everybody being in on the joke who worked on this, that even goes to the music choices because the music choices.
That was one other thing that I loved. I was messaging MJ
totally
about
on
this last
point,
night.
Right?
Yes.
And on the nose, but they weren't obnoxious. Like
they
were
so tongue in cheek. They used
recent films.
Some other filmmakers, aka Zack Snyder.
Because here they're not trying to be self-important gods. They know it's a joke in this movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I love how tongue-in-cheek the use of the music was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. You have Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World.
I know.
In
an arsony. Like, my God, that was beautiful. And
he set his fucking house on fire and you hear Louis Armstrong.
I was so
and everything
sad
was
for the
shot
vinyl collection.
I know, that was sad.
That was so sad.
Like, they used a lot of classic songs. Maybe some that were even, way before our time. Maybe except Misha. But, but it's classic songs without it being cliche or cheesy. Because you've probably heard some of these songs in many other movie scenes many a time before. Because these are classics. But it just works so well without it being felt like, this has been done before. No, it just like totally works because it just owns it. Like, yeah, I'll put on the Tito music. Yeah, I'll give you Pat Benatar. Who cares?
We spoke about editing earlier, right? I mean, like, apart from it being like the hip hop, like what MJ said, like hip hop editing, just to paint the pictures that what I enjoyed more about the editing was that the music complemented everything, the editing from how everything was so fast at first, just to be able to paint a picture of how tiring what his life was. And then it just slows down as he has those moments of serenity while he's doing all these violent things. So that's just like a perfect mix of music and visuals.
I like also how after 3 tries, the writer of John Wick was finally able to convey that this character was becoming true to himself versus John Wick. Everybody around him is telling him who and what he is. In this movie, we see him where he takes off his civilized exterior to become the badass that he always was. So I was like, I can get behind this. This is good. So find your place. Okay, it works, I guess. So John Wick 1 to 3 were like drafts.
No, I think this is like essentially a middle-aged John Wick. Like
Isn't John Wick middle-aged? Keanu Reeves just doesn't age.
No, because just Saul. Well, they're practically the same age in real life. But anyway,
What?
True. Yeah, Keanu Reeves
they're
is like over
practically
50.
the same age.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No, I'm not kidding.
Fuck
He's over 50.
that
It's just
shit.
it's just that Keanu Reeves is a vampire. So
Yeah,
true,
in fact,
yes.
this whole thing started with Taken, and then there's John Wick. Now there's this movie. Somebody on the internet called it Jerry Action movies.
Jerry action movies.
I don't get
Love
it.
It's
Geriatric.
because they're fucking geriatric. They're
Oh.
old. It's like a
Okay.
new subgenre, like
Um,
old
Oh,
people.
okay.
no, but then because John Wick is somebody who just really wants to get out. I guess he's fresh from getting out of that line of work. Whereas Hutch Mansell has been out for a long time. He even has his family with him. It's just there was this itch that he missed. Like, even his dad was telling him, "You remember who you are, Hutch. Remember who you are." His dad, by the way, was played by Doc Brown himself,
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, so
Yeah.
can we move on to the actors? Because I have questions.
Okay.
I have questions about this family.
What?
Why is your
RZ?
father the inventor of time travel? And why is your brother,
You
want to ruin it? Go. Spoil it.
A Wu-Tang Clan member.
RZA.
No, but
It is
But-
amazing.
But RZA has always been a fan of action movies. He's made 2 martial arts
Yeah,
movies,
he trained
right?
Snake Eyes in G.I. Joe.
There you go.
So, okay, so you trained
Shit,
the
yeah, he
baddest ninja
did.
commando on the planet, and now
That
you're
movie sucked.
Saul Goodman's brother? Can you imagine what their household was like growing up under Doc Brown? I mean, really?
I was messaging MJ last night. I was telling her, half the time I would hear Christopher Lloyd laughing in this movie, I was expecting to hear him say Marty at the end of every sentence.
Well, on my end, when they would cut to Christopher Lloyd, maybe in the retirement home, when he's just like, chilling, watching TV, when they don't really show much of how skilled he actually is. You just see him in the couch. I'm thinking, Hector Salamanca?
You just needed a bell.
Wait, sorry.
I
Can I make
know.
pahabol? One of my favorite kills was with Christopher Lloyd in the retirement home.
Oh,
Was,
yeah.
When Russian mob gets Russian mob boss gets mad, he sends 2 guys to off the family of Hutch. So they find out who his father is. His father was apparently a retired FBI agent. And once Hutch called him, he knew what to do. He had his shotguns ready.
Oh,
He
yeah.
killed those 2 assassins.
God. And the look on his face,
so-
he was just so happy.
And
Yeah,
don't you just love how he covered it up? Like, okay, a nursing home dude hears
Cowboy
the gunshots and like,
Mhm.
and he's like, okay, oh my God, I'm gonna run. What's happening? I hear gunshots. And then you see him like,
He's like,
oh man,
he's
turn that
watching
shit down,
movies.
watching TV, watching
He's watching
movies.
his old
And then you
cowboy
see
movies.
the wider shot with the 2 dead guys on the floor. He doesn't even
I
see
think-
them.
He was even like strangling the other guy,
Yep.
the guy who was still dying.
Yep.
Okay, if you're not dead with that shot, I'm gonna cut off your air supply with one hand
And
while watching my cowboy movie.
I like also the economy of storytelling. Like, we don't need to know how long he was an FBI agent. We don't need to know how long his son was,
Mhm.
an assassin for the government. We don't even need to know why his brother is in hiding. All we know is they kill people real good and it's fun to watch.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, I also felt that at the start. It's like I feel like his backstory, Hutch's backstory as the auditor was a little rushed because you just see him, you cut to like a little flashback with him telling people about it, but I didn't really care. It's
You
like,
don't care.
it's okay.
You just know that he's a badass.
Yeah. Yeah, you killed people and you can get away with it.
I don't know.
Government basically lets you. So, okay, I'm good. That's explanation enough.
I don't know if it's gonna... I may be reading too much into the scene, but remember that one part where essentially his home is attacked by the Russian mob's boys.
Yeah.
Or people.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to the house after a series of things. He goes back to the house, makes them sit down on the couch and then one of them is still alive. So he's telling them about what his job was.
Yeah.
While the guy is dying.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of his story, he looks at the guy and the guy's already dead. He's like, fuck. Isn't it kind of like that? It's like, it's kind of, and maybe reading too much.
Exactly.
Exactly. And maybe reading too much into the scene.
Mm-hmm.
It happens to him twice. Like, it happened when he was about to burn his basement, and it also happened when he got when the guy got crushed by a car.
He was
talking to the Black Russian guy. He was like, "Oh, I never saw a Black Russian guy before." And then the guy was like, "Thanks." And then that's when he decides to tell him about his past. And then he doesn't even finish, and the guy's dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn it. Will anybody let me finish my story? But I guess not, because nobody cares. I just want to see you kill people.
Exactly.
It's not that nobody cares. It's that they all die before he finishes.
Or maybe they're like, I'm dying. Is this the last thing I want to hear?
So here's the thing. The whole movie plays like, it's like repressed male angst or whatever the hell. And it's basically a revenge fantasy, right? Except there's nothing to revenge because, again, nobody did him wrong.
I don't think it's like midlife. What was the coin you...
repressed male rage?
Repressed. No, I think it's more of a midlife crisis, repressed rage.
Right. But here's the crazy thing. I don't know how many people are going to see it that way. You know how idiots look up to Rorschach and the Punisher, even if they're the first people who will tell you not to look up to them. There are people, living in, their mother's basement who will be watching this and they'll be like, oh, that could be me. I should go inflict pain.
Fuck you, you're not Saul Goodman.
Exactly. That's why I like the humorous touch, the dark humor touch that they put in the movie to let people know now we know it's a gag. This should not be taken seriously at all. This is not something to be emulated. This is something fun. Take it for what it is.
Yep. There are no auditors who are like Saul Goodman. The auditors I know are boring.
Wow.
Can you imagine like a badass crossover? Like, what if Saul Goodman was Hutch this whole time and he takes out the entire Mexican cartel in the next season?
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Because
it's just 2 episodes of dialogue and then everything else is just gunfire.
I'd watch it.
I would watch that.
Because
I don't give a fuck. I would watch that.
Breaking Call. Better Call Saul.
Oh, you're worse. You're worse than MJ.
Shut up.
That's twice in one night. That's twice in one recording, Misha.
Shut up. We missed you last week.
I'm sorry. I'm sleep deprived.
Don't make me regret missing you.
I'm sleep deprived if that's any consolation.
That's what you get for making a human.
I'm happy.
Aww. And we're happy for you.
We're sad that you guys can't visit.
No, it's okay. We don't want to be around when you make humans.
Yeah.
No, visit made human.
Oh,
anyway.
I see.
Anyway.
Misha's disgusting.
No, but shooting a Better Call Saul season 6 was delayed because he was too busy making this movie. He was busy getting like a 6-pack and becoming a badass.
Worth
and
it.
Producing it.
It'd be weird,
Bob
though.
Odenkirk was a producer, too.
It'd be weird. Like, what if it's like Parks and Rec season 6 where Chris Pratt had an 8-pack because he was Star-Lord already and they had to make all sorts of excuses. They had to put him in baggy clothes so he wouldn't look too different. What the hell are we going to do when Saul Goodman comes back all trim and lean and badass in season 6?
You remember what excuse they gave Andy, right? You remember what the excuse they gave Andy? It was that he just stopped drinking beer.
That's true.
I wonder what the excuse for Saul Goodman would be.
He went vegan. I don't know.
I don't know. Vegan won't give you abs.
It will, according to Scott Pilgrim.
That's the fool. I just saw Scott Pilgrim this afternoon. That's bullshit.
I would love to see that unfold. And then, you see Saul Goodman single-handedly taking out an entire Mexican cartel with the Jesse Pinkman suddenly just going, bitch!
I'd watch it.
Just like a cameo. Just like
I would
walking
watch
by
it.
and then, what the fuck, bitch?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
it.
gonna
That's
go
all I
find
want.
a middle-aged man to go make some meth with in a trailer. In an RV.
Then it's gonna unfold to Breaking Bad now. Whoa.
So
Anyway.
wait, he was a badass the whole time and he hid it from everybody? As long as he ends up with
Maybe.
Kim, I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Kim or Hippolyta? Huh. He's got a good set of leading ladies there.
That is true.
I would go Hippolyta though.
That is
Oh,
so
yeah,
weird, right? He goes to bed with Hippolyta, but he goes to work for Darkseid.
Okay. Yeah, that is
Ah,
weird. That is
That's
ironic.
strange.
Lordy.
Okay, so
Anyway.
you said that, like, he didn't need a reason to beat the shit out of people. So yeah, that may be what happened in the start.
Mm-hmm.
So he beats up this young dude who happens to be the relative of the big Russian mafia boss, and then they come for his family. And I'm thinking, like, I mean, if you're married to Wonder Woman's mom, you'd be pissed off too if somebody threatens your family. So
That is
okay,
true. That is
reason
true.
enough for me.
But you know what? What one scene that I really enjoyed? It was very short, but it was a pretty telling scene. I knew that the bus scene, everybody would enjoy that because that's the first time you actually see Saul Goodman kick ass. Saul
Yeah.
Goodman, sorry,
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Hutch Mansell. Hutch Mansell. But anyway, during the scene where he was hunting down the first two people who invaded his home, that young couple, that desperate young couple,
Right.
he walks into a tattoo parlor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And he was demanding where to find this person or who got this particular tattoo. And then everybody was like, you're in the wrong fucking whatever. You're like,
Yeah,
you have no business
balding,
doing that.
middle-aged loser.
And then this war vet sees the
Yep.
tattoo on his wrist. They looked like playing cards, right?
Yes.
So the guy, the war vet recognized what the tattoos were, and he just says, "Thank you for your service," walks out the room, hides behind this, heavily locked door, and then even blocks out the window. And everybody was like, "Oh, okay. You can find this person
Yeah, we're
wherever."
sorry.
It's like, okay. That scene really stuck to me because that was very telling of what kind of, what ride we were in for.
Baba Yaga. It's the Baba Yaga.
No.
The older Baba Yaga.
Find your place. Find your place.
Oh man, if you're gonna ask me now if who I love more, Bob Odenkirk or Keanu Reeves, I'm just
You
really
can just say
gonna
Bob Odenkirk or Baba Yaga.
Baba or Bob?
Baba.
Baba or Bob? I'd say Bob.
Why? Because he's like a loving family member, whereas Keanu Reeves is just
I
Keanu
don't
Reeves.
know. It's just maybe the history of
Because
Better
he's always
Call
been a
Saul.
loser, but now he's not.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Or maybe he's just I just love him as an actor.
Well, he
Again, he
started
was
off
the
as
dad
a-
in Little Women.
That is also true.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yes, you were.
What?
Seriously?
No.
He went home from war and he's like, my
Wait,
Little
hasn't
Women.
this been mentioned before? You're only hearing this now?
We've mentioned this before, but okay.
Yes. Yes,
Maybe
he
it's all the
was.
more shocking now to Anjo after he's seen nobody and then you think,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
like,
he was
oo
the
nga.
dad.
It's like, oh my God, oo nga. Kasi
Right?
what-
The range. I
the
love it.
disconnect, it's like violent
true.
middle-aged dude and then Little Women. It's like, whew!
And
Ang layo.
also, he was in an improv duo with Conan O'Brien at some point.
Oh my
And
God,
he used
that-
to be an
that-
SNL
I-
writer, I think, at some
Yeah.
point.
Which
I love him so much.
which shows in the work. He was the producer for this movie.
Mhm.
Mhm. And he really understands character development because of his
Yeah.
because of how he's already written characters.
This
So amazing.
this movie also has probably one of the sexiest intros or opening sequences I've seen. Because how it was shot, everything, like the color grading. The slow motion sequences were not gratuitous at all, unlike other directors that we know.
We're never
No,
gonna
but it
stop
was so
shitting on
tastefully
Zack
done,
Snyder.
along with the song that was used. or the audio track that was used for that intro. It was just pretty cool. You see him taking out stuff from his pocket, and then you have all the two cops saying,
He
"Who
had
are
a
you?"
cat.
He had a cat and some tuna.
He had a little kitty cat.
Not just a bracelet anymore.
And his daughter wanted a cat.
Oh no, don't you just love it when like these super cutthroat badass characters are just so soft for their kids? I eat that shit up.
That was so sweet though. Like, his daughter was the only one who actually paid him any attention.
I know. After the whole robbery.
Yeah.
And he's like, couldn't sleep. Like, are you scared? Like, you're here? Oh. My heart.
Aww.
It also helped that the little girl, the actress that they got to play his daughter, was actually pretty cute too.
He's so cute.
Yeah, she was a cute.
Okay, and let's also, we already touched on the Russian mobster, but can I just say he's like a worthy adversary? No matter how much we love Bob Odenkirk,
yes,
this was like you feel that. It's not just kind of like this action movie where he's gonna be okay throughout the entire thing, because you see him get hit, you see him get beat up. His wife had to patch him up at some point, and this is like, you're fucking with the wrong people.
I know people who have done that with cuts, super glue cuts together.
Hey, it works. It works.
It does. It does.
Hurts like a motherfucker, but it does.
Yeah.
So I hear.
I hope you just heard.
I choose not to answer that.
Oh my God. Ooh, look at Misha. He's badass.
Ooh, regular Bob Odenkirk you are.
Look at you. Yeah,
Misha Odenkirk.
But seriously though, you see like they are so heavily armed. They look fucking scary. And like the boss, I just love how he constantly doesn't give a shit about traffic passing by. You see him in his first scene entering his club. He just walks across the street, cars are speeding by, he doesn't give a fuck. And then there's another shot where finally it's the climax of the movie, and then Hutch makes them chase him into his little hideout. He like walks into traffic again, and then his ride just swerves into the shot and stops in the middle of the street. I was like, oh, that's so badass.
Wait, you know what? I just had a thought. Anjo might be onto something, because you know how he said like Hutch is kind of like Kevin McAllister levels of evil. You know how Kevin
not evil, but diabolical.
Kevin has this big smile, right? Before he inflicts severe pain on those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Hutch had that same fucking look on his face when he was crossing his fingers, hoping that they would chase him.
Yep. He did.
Don't you just love how he's just like, oh, here I am, wishing for more trouble. Let's do this.
Please, chase
That's
me
exactly what you want to
do.
Please come to me.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite scene or favorite line?
Favorite scene or favorite line? Ooh.
Give me the goddamn kitty cat bracelet! My audio peaked there. Sorry, PV.
Yeah. There is that.
Is that my favorite?
That's a good line. No, actually, I think I mentioned my favorite scene is... It's so hard. What kind of a question is this, Misha? There's just too much. Okay. If it's an action sequence, obviously the climactic fight, that would be one.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite scene altogether for the narrative was probably the tattoo parlor scene for me.
That was very cool. I think
because it was such a simple scene.
It was.
It was such a simple scene, but it really painted the picture as to who, if you knew who this guy was, like you'd be so afraid of him.
Yeah.
And clearly that war vet was.
With 4 words, you knew everything you needed to know about him, from that guy who locked like 18 locks to close his door when he realized who he was. And he's like, thank you for your service. And I'm like, okay, so he's government.
And then he just... Yep, and he just leaves and runs out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, this guy's scary.
I really like the scene where he realizes that the whole Russian mob is coming for him, because he comes home. He cooks dinner for his family. He made lasagna from scratch.
The lasagna looked good too.
I know.
Sorry, I just had to say
they weren't able to eat it. And they had
I know. I wanted some lasagna.
Now I want lasagna.
So
anyway,
he made dinner for his family. It was really sweet. And he was just telling them, we should go to Italy. He's a new man because of his encounter, because he feels refreshed. He feels like alive
and he
again.
Just got laid the night before.
And also it's like, yeah, he's so hopeful for his family, but then shit escalates. You see the row of cars coming in, and then he just suddenly goes all serious and like parang, get up, let's all go to the basement, run. And then he panics, and then such a badass moment when his family is like in the door of the basement. Slow-mo, he grabs his wife and kisses her passionately. It's like,
you know what
I love that.
You know what I would have done?
What?
I would have had them take the lasagna. I don't know how long I'm going to keep them in the basement. It's only right. You give them something to eat while they're downstairs.
Sabagay, but I don't know. I guess that passionate kiss was pretty cool because it's like, it's his way of saying, I'm sorry for the shit that's about to unfold. Yes. And I love you. And you mean the world to me, you and my kids. And then later on he goes, don't call 911.
Yeah, badass.
Like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? And then also that really cool fight scene in his house. He does get taken out eventually, but that's still pretty cool, like what he did.
I like that.
Can I add?
No, just add.
Wait, sorry. Okay, so I also kind of like Russian mob boss's intro where people were telling him like, oh, some of our associates don't think you're worthy, somebody who likes dancing or whatever.
You're holding our pension.
You're holding our pension. Some of us don't feel comfortable with you with this kind of lifestyle that you lead. So he's like, oh, okay. So to prove you wrong, he breaks that martini glass. Like I mentioned earlier, that was like fucking badass right there. This guy's a fucking sociopath.
And I think that's also something similar he and Hutch have. They were underestimated.
Yeah, that is a good
so
point.
It's like we're the adversary levels. Like, okay, you have your years and years and years of experience murdering people while he has his many, many, many henchmen and many, many, many stacks of money. So, balance out.
For me, my favorite bit, I mean, look, I'm happy to see Christopher Lloyd in anything, honestly. But to see him running
even
around...
lingerie. Just kidding. You said anything.
He just laughed, so I'll take that as a yes.
No!
I'll take that as a yes.
Nobody wants to see Doc Brown in lingerie. But anyway.
Except Misha.
I hate you so much. I liked seeing him just shooting bad guys with a shotgun and having the time of his life, honestly.
Yes, that was so gratifying.
I've seen him in a movie for like 20 years at this point, and here he is just killing bad guys like nothing with a big smile on his face.
Honestly, that's the happiest I've seen him in a long time.
And like, so Hutch comes up to him. He's like, that's a lot. You brought a lot of shotguns. And his dad's like, you brought a lot of Russians.
I like that too.
I'm like, yes, I love this fucking movie.
I like it. I like the whole dynamic na parang, ikaw dami mong dala.
Exactly. I love this shit. Amazing.
Yeah.
Like that jokes in this movie, like, oh, he bought the entire office of his in-laws.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and that part where like his brother-in-laws, but we worked so hard. No, it's our blood, sweat, and tears. And he's like, I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, but what about me? Well, fuck you.
Do something. No, I also like that part where he's being chased by these Russians, so he leads them into this booby trap building, and then he parks in the boss's parking.
Yes.
Like, okay, this movie,
exactly.
This movie's the shit.
They knew exactly what they were doing. I love that shit.
Yeah, because exactly, quite. I was telling MJ last night, this movie was so on the nose, it was also so tongue-in-cheek.
Tongue-in-cheek, that's what sells it. If they took it seriously, you'd just be hating it by the pretentiousness of it.
Yep.
It's got so many action movie archetypes and formulas. So you've got, the chase scenes, blah, 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 great kills. You even got that slow-mo back-to-back teamwork shot with him and RZA.
Yeah. The Avengers shot.
Yeah, it's got that. But I also like how there are moments where you think it's going to go somewhere, but it doesn't. Because there were very small moments of, even like at the start when he was about to beat the shit out of the robbers in his house, but he doesn't. Because you at that moment, you're like, oh yes, this is where shit is gonna start, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then also when he was telling his backstory about the guy he let go, on why he wanted to be a family man. So there was this guy that he was about to kill.
Cool.
And then you see a shot of the him pointing a gun behind the guy kneeling, and then you see a shot of the snow, the floor and the snow, and you'd expect like, oh, I'm gonna see blood streaks, he's gonna kill him, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
So it takes you, you think it's gonna take you somewhere, but it doesn't. So it keeps you on your toes.
Yes.
Yes,
Like, it does have a lot of like action movie moments, but it's not completely cliche.
It was clear that the director and the writers and the producers of this movie were clearly having fun with the genre and the material that they were working with.
Absolutely.
And it pays off so well. Like the story was so cohesive. None of the jokes seemed forced. Everything just felt so organic, even though the story was just so ridiculous at some point, you know. It's not like John Wick wasn't bad, but it's clearly not as relatable as this one.
You don't think that a secret society of international hitmen with their own society, I said society twice, with their own currency and set of laws, and they even have a hotel in the heart of New York City, that's not relatable?
No, but
people just care about the dead dog, really.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
It's basically that, but... Can I also just talk about this amazing shot where Hutch gets caught by the Russian mobsters, but he still finds a way to fuck up their car. It explodes, it flips over, and in just one shot, you see the car flip over, it zooms in a little bit slowly, and you see him get out of the fucking trunk. Like, what the fuck?
So much fun.
I love that shot. I was like, what the fuck?
Yes, this is what auditors do.
Oh my God. It was so badass. And I couldn't, is there an editing point? I couldn't find it.
I'm sure there is, but it was just done so well.
I know. It just looked like one seamless long take of, oh my God.
Feeling ko may CG yun. May CG
Probably,
siguro.
but still.
Stitch it together, but
probably, but still, it was executed so well. Like, my God.
Can I just be on the record where I was just giggling like an idiot leading up to that barrel roll of the car, because the second he used that fire extinguisher, I was just laughing hard.
I was like, these guys are fucked.
Yeah.
And I liked how he pops out from that thing in the back seat, you know, that leads into the trunk, like boom. It's like, oh, Baba Yaga. But he's not the Baba Yaga. He's not the Baba Yaga.
And these poor henchmen, they were thinking of going to the hospital first because they were wounded, and parang not like, we're not. And then the henchman, the lead guy, the black Russian guy, is like, no, we drop him off first. But they're like, but we're wounded, we should go to the hospital.
That was
like,
awesome.
Wow.
I love whining henchmen.
I'd like to talk about that black Russian that head henchman.
That
he was
black Russian
the
had
lieutenant.
more of a backstory than most of the characters in this movie.
Yeah, like it was funny, but they asked him like, why are you? Oh, I've never seen a black Russian before. And he says like his dad was an Olympian from Uganda or something.
If you're from Russia, why are you black?
Oh my God!
Just ask people why they're black,
Karen.
So anyway, he's like his dad was like an Olympian or something. And then the Russian mob asked him, oh, what is he? And then he taught you how to do all these things. And how did you fare? I don't care. He left us. He left my mother and I to fend for ourselves. Like, okay, that explains your story in Russia.
I know. I'd probably watch a movie with that guy.
Me too. Just sad how he dies, but okay.
You could literally call the movie Black Russian.
It's like one of those blaxploitation movies back in the day.
Yeah, it opens with him with a giant afro, sleeping with 4 women.
Yep.
Wow.
Cue in the funk music.
or hardcore Russian metal. Okay. So
yeah, he was cool. He was so cool.
If there's anything that you could do over or change about this movie, what would it be?
Nothing.
Yes, I am of the same opinion. There was really nothing I wanted to change in this movie.
Well, like I said, at some point I did feel like I wish I had more backstory to Hutch, but maybe that's just an added bonus. But I like it how it is.
I like the fact that we don't know much about this character.
Yeah, it's fine
The
too.
mystique,
I mean, either way.
the mystique.
I just
the
wanted to see more
mystique of it
kicking
all.
ass at some point.
Yeah.
Another
okay.
scene.
Maybe more kicking ass.
Yeah. Another point that I thought I would be disappointed, but it totally changed. So when he finally gets to the bar or hideout, it's just another montage with like great music in the background. It's not like hard hitting, detailed action. And I thought that was the climax. So I was a little disappointed at some point when I was like, oh, that's the climax. He's already at the base and it's just a montage. I would have wanted to see more kicking ass, but it's like, oh no, that's not the climax. No, it still escalates. Like, okay. So I was really happy about that. I was really happy that, oh yeah, it gets even more kick ass. I just thought that, cop out, bakit montage yung climax? But I'm so glad it didn't turn out that way.
I like in nga, parang he was the man with a plan that, like he clearly knew what he wanted. He wanted to get to this Russian guy. How do we get to him without him being, being the underdog? Underdog na nga siya kasi obviously he's outmatched. Then, maybe I'll buy my in-laws office and then turn it into this whole booby trap thing. It was so bad that's how he bought it. He bought it with gold bars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Copy. Sorry. No, that's not even find replace. That's just copy paste from John Wick. Where he had gold in his basement.
That's true.
I have to rewatch John Wick.
But again, I don't care when the acting is this good and the tongue is so far in cheek. It's fine. It is fun. It is a ride. It's absolutely a ride.
Although my boyfriend did notice a continuity error that I didn't notice, but he did say that there was this scene, I'm not sure which, but something about him having a wound somewhere and it disappearing in the next cut only for it to reappear again. But I didn't notice, so it's probably for the eagle-eyed folks out there. But, wound continuity can be really difficult.
Yes.
Only thing that I personally would change was that bit at the end. Yeah, it's too late for a spoiler warning. You all knew what you were in for.
Yeah.
Was when his brother and his father are in an RV driving cross country. You don't know where they're going, which is cool. And they're like, why can't we fly? And they're all like, oh, right, because we got all this shit. And then they take a look back at everything, all the guns that they have stashed in the back. I'm like, you don't need to show them looking at the guns. You already had the line that said that you're carrying stuff.
I don't know. It was a cute moment with them laughing
exactly.
together.
But because they're having so much fun, you go with it. You just have fun with it. You're not supposed to take this movie seriously. Otherwise, you ask questions.
Yeah, either way, feeling ko all the mistakes or, setbacks were forgivable just because it was just so fun overall. And
I'm kind of nervous, like, if they do plan on a sequel.
Nobody's.
I wouldn't want a sequel for this one because Nisha.
What? It took that long for you to hear that? God, your latency sucks.
No, I was talking. Nobody's but you, man. Anyway.
But yous
pala. Tama. Plurals. Anyway, this movie is perfect as it is. I don't know if they made a sequel, if they could, match the success of this one. It
would be weird because we already know he's a badass.
I'm not sure if it will be as successful as, let's say, John Wick 1, 2, and 3, which were consistent all throughout.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope if ever they do, I hope they apply the same tongue-in-cheekness and apologetically violent. Violent.
Because how it ends, I'm not even going to apologize for the spoilers, because how it ends is parang... It seems as if it's setting up.
It's totally setting it up.
But the house and looking for a house and a basement.
House hunting scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it wasn't even him who asked if there was a basement. It was the wife.
Yep. I got it. I know. Right? I have an idea. Where we all go home happy. You know how just now I said, like, you can't surprise us again. We already know he's a badass.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's Wonder Woman's mom?
Yes!
What if she's a badass? Because, look, she knows how to field dress his fucking wounds when he's been stabbed and shot and punched and beaten. And they both said it wasn't their first time for her to patch him up. So she knows stuff. Maybe she's also a badass.
Which is kind of weird because when she was talking to her son, or maybe she was just playing into the role also of the your domesticated family life. Because she was saying, "Yo, what about your uncle? Blah blah blah. He was a real soldier. Or grandpa or something, right?" So
that was so painful.
It really was.
Yeah, that was really painful.
He was right there. They were talking about him like he wasn't there.
And then when the kids left, when his family left, he was just so sad. He just threw out the food he was going to cook for himself. Maybe after that comment. His son doesn't even respect him anymore.
Yeah.
His wife clearly does not respect him. His son doesn't.
I'd still
he
watch
earns it
2
from
hours
us at the end.
I'd still watch 2 hours of Hippolyta kicking ass.
Yes.
Maybe she has to rescue Hutch.
Middle-aged woman this time. That would be cool.
She's gonna be like, "Oh, I do the household work, and I have to save you too." Jeez.
Well, that's a pretty cool narrative. Like
Jesus Christ, I have to take care of the kids and save you.
Not now, Hutch. Not a good time. I'm in a fucking PTA meeting. It's kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith in the future.
I still like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, would you recommend this movie to any of our viewers or any of your friends?
Ay, hindi.
No.
No.
Nobody
no.
watched
Hipster.
this movie. This is
napaka-hipster namin.
This is
only
our
for
official
ourselves.
opinion.
Fuck that.
Obviously.
It's pretty obvious. We all had fun. It's not
The
like I care a
past
lot.
hour is enough testament to that. Man, and hello, I've seen it thrice. Angela has seen it twice. Misha has seen it 1.5 times.
Does that
without
even count?
falling asleep. Big
Without
deal.
falling asleep, yes.
That's a big deal.
Yep.
Just don't brush your teeth before watching it, Misha.
You are not my real mother.
So yes, we totally recommend Nobody if you're in the mood for some blood
Yep.
and some,
2
occasional
hours of fun.
middle-aged problems, which also tug at the heartstrings at some point. But yes, we totally do recommend it.
Don't take it seriously. Just enjoy it for
Yes.
what it is.
Yes.
Do not go onto buses looking for fistfights. Please do not do that. We do not endorse this kind of behavior.
Unless you're Bob
fun to
Odenkirk.
watch. Unless
If you're Bob
Saul.
Odenkirk, you can do anything.
Yes, if you're Baba Yaga Odenkirk.
Baba Yaga Odenkirk. Wow. Oh my God.
I'm going to
love
use
that.
that somewhere.
That's another shirt, Misha.
Awesome.
Baba Yaga Odenkirk. I love the fact that there are GIFs now on Facebook Messenger.
Yes, I'm
Hutch
gonna
Mansell.
use
It's
them now.
Oh, I'm gonna abuse those GIFs
Me
so
too.
much. I love this movie.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna watch. I'm watching it again after this recording.
And I think that's an episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us dish out our thoughts on Bob Odenkirk's new movie, Nobody. Everybody should take some time, shut their brain off, watch this movie, and
With somebody. So many buddies.
Oh
Nobody,
my God.
Everybody, somebody.
just for that,
I don't
you're
know.
doing the closing.
No! You're doing it so well.
No!
Again, thank you for listening to our opinions, dishing out on this movie. We clearly enjoyed it, and we do highly recommend it for everybody who's looking for something entertaining to do this
Yeah.
2021.
Adrenaline! Testosterone!
Somebody better put this
Midlife
thing back in
crisis.
theaters when theaters are a thing again.
I
Ben
really
Benatar!
Maybe that's the one thing I would like to change about this movie is to have seen it in the theater
I really have to
Yeah.
see this in a bigger screen, seriously.
with other people.
They could do a double feature with Godzilla vs. Kong.
Ooh.
Nah,
No
different
brain
studios.
day.
No
Universal
brain.
and Warner.
No brains were wanted that day. Thank you,
pure
everybody,
entertainment.
for listening in. You can follow us on social media. We have a Facebook group where we invite you all to share your favorite nonsense as far as movies go. It's called Sub-Auteurs. We like movies. We are also on Instagram. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Your love is
I
like
ran
a
out of
tidal
spiel. I don't
wave
know where to go with this.
spinning over my head.
Again, thank you guys for listening. I'm Anja.
I'm MJ.
I'm Misha.
Oh man, we should have said I'm nobody. Oh well.
We're nobody but you.
Fuck. I still say the sequel should be called Nobodies.
I'm just gonna.
Well, you know, if
sing to
the
Pat
wife
Benatar
was
at the
if
side.
the wife was gonna be the one doing the ass kicking, then it would make sense because there'd be two of them now.
That would be cool. I'd watch it.
To
Me too.
release my inner fantasy, the invincible winner.
I see trees are green,
Of green. Of.
of green. Red roses bloom.
Grover,
I
is that
see
you?
And I think to myself,
Drunk
had to.
Grover?
Grover.
No, that's just smoke inhalation.
I really want them to come up with an excuse for why Saul is so fucking ripped in season 6.
I can't wait.